Welcome to this exciting episode of GenAI Live. My name is Brian Terry, and I'm a senior partner senior partner AI and data solution architect here at AWS. And I'm super excited to be here with my co-host, Dalian. Dalian, how about you introduce yourself?
Yeah, Brian, glad to be here as well. Hey, folks, my name is Karini AI. I'm a senior technical account manager here at AWS. I serve customers in the travel and hospitality space. And I'm also a self-proclaimed GenAI enthusiast. So excited to get into today's content.
Yes, and welcome. If this is your first time joining us on the show, we're super happy that you're here. You can join us every Wednesday at 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So join us for the latest and greatest in what AWS is doing with AI and our partners. And you can always find the latest and greatest here. So
Absolutely.
What
do you got for the latest and greatest this week, Brian? If you don't got something, I do, but I'll start with you.
I've got the best of the latest and greatest. So for everyone that doesn't know, I'm actually a PhD researcher here at University of North Dakota when I'm not doing my day job. And one of my projects just got released by the CloudFormation team. I originally called it Hammer, but it's called the AWS MCP infrastructure server. So what you can do with this is you can manage AWS infrastructure with natural language, and we just released that. I'll put a comment, a link down here in the description, so you guys check it out, and you can manage AWS using natural language. And I'm super excited, and I think this is a leap forward in the technology.
100%. I'm about to give that a try out myself. That sounds like interesting research and definitely a good way to pursue a PhD. Sounds like you're doing some interesting work there. So let's see what you got coming.
Yeah, it's actually this reason why I did the PhD, just so I can get stuff like this out. So it's kind of done out of spite.
Hey, so sometimes the best things come out of spite. Yeah, one other thing I wanted to talk about before we bring on our awesome list of guests for today's episode is a recent announcement that to Amazon Bedrock guardrails. So if you've been using guardrails for a while, you might have been familiar with some of the launches at reInvent, some of the policies and things that were in testing. Recently, we just launched to general availability Bedrock reasoning checks, automated reasoning checks. So with that, it helps ensure that the responses and generated responses from the LLMs are backed by reasoning and validating these things. So ensuring that you're minimizing hallucinations to your model. So as you know, in the LLM world, hallucinations can be a bad thing. So how we can minimize that and ensure that everything that they're putting out is backed by actual facts and evidence is great to see. So if you're using Bedrock and Bedrock guardrails particularly, check out the new policy automated reasoning checks and get that implemented. I'm sure it'll be valuable to you and your customers. So
absolutely, man, that is a super fine there. I mean, who doesn't want to reduce hallucinations? So man, super exciting stuff. So man, I'm just in awe of the amazing stuff that is getting invented from day to day. I mean, from partners, from AWS, the innovation is just starting to just skyrocket with AI and GenAI. And that release that you just talked about is definitely evidence of what's going on in the industry.
Yeah, but besides what we got going here at AWS, we also have some great partners that are doing exceptional work with our services and beyond and working with customers. So yeah, I think this is about the time where we bring on our first partners of the day and get into it.
Hello, and welcome to GenAI Live. How about you introduce yourselves?
Landon, you want to start out?
Yes, sure, absolutely. Hi, I'm Landon Meserve. I'm the Vice President of Business Development and Partnerships here at Basis. I also serve as the AWS Alliance Lead for our company.
Hi, I'm Joshua Korb. I'm the CEO of Basis.
Nice to be with you both today. And for those folks that may not be familiar with Basis, if you're not, shame on you. But let's hear. Joshua, maybe you can give us a little take on what Basis and what's the mission and why companies should be looking at you.
Yeah. So Basis started 13 years ago in Los Angeles with a primary focus on engineers starting a company. So one of the qualifying factors is we only hire computer science people. It's sort of the thing that differentiates us. Majority of our team is in the US with some nearshore and offshore team members as well, all with computer science degrees. And then the reason we've become famous as of late, we've always done AI, but as Gen AI started to rise up very quickly, we sort of jumped on that bandwagon, and our specialty has been really around migrating clients over to Bedrock, whether it's net new or they're leveraging other third parties, OpenAI, Anthropic, whatever, and bringing those workloads over to their native AWS environments.
Excellent. And as a computer science graduate, I thank you for ensuring we get those hires. So
I'm
great
one
to hear.
too, so I get it.
Brian, you hit the mute somewhere on there. Double mute. Looks like it's on the computer, but yeah, I guess while Brian figures out the mute buttons, as you know, a lot of different ways to hit mute these days. I kind of want to get into some of the things that Basis has been doing on AWS. So this is open for Josh or Landon here. Can you tell us a little bit about where customers usually are when they approach you on their Gen AI adoption journey? Are they usually starting out? Have they been doing some testing? Obviously, the last couple of years, POCs and seeing what's possible has been a big driving point for a lot of customers. But some things change when you start to look to productionize these proof of concepts and so on and so forth. So what trends are you seeing for customers in their Gen AI journey?
It's interesting because we talk about it as being very new, but it's actually been a couple of years now. So you sort of have seen a lot of different things at this point. What we generally see is really two ends of the spectrum. The beginning is we need to use Gen AI. You still get those conversations. We don't know where or what to start. We used OpenAI. We messed around with it, but how do you make like a real POC? And one of the challenges now that it's been a couple of years is I want to make a POC, but I want to make something that will actually go to production that's useful and not just exactly like a deterministic process all over again and forcing it in Gen AI. The other side of the coin that we run into quite a bit is I have a POC or some sort of like production workload, and it sits outside of our regulatory or security requirements and is sort of pinging through NAT gateways or whatever it might be. And we want to bring that into our AWS environment because that's where everything sits. So that's where the Bedrock migrations come in. A lot of customers don't even know Bedrock or its capabilities or the available models. And I think the thing I really love about Bedrock is not just the security aspects and the guardrails, but also the ability very easily to switch different models, potentially on the fly, and being able to test. And, latest and greatest is always sort of a thing. So being able to test those very quickly before moving them to a final production workload.
Appreciate that. Yeah. And as you mentioned, right, as we see when you move to a platform and you start developing, you sometimes get locked in at times to, even though it might not be the best fit for you, you don't know the options or how to re-platform your applications to another space such as Bedrock or others. What does that usually look like? Is it an easy journey for a customer who has maybe started somewhere else, determined that where they started isn't the perfect fit? Is it an easy process for them to move to, let's say, Bedrock in this case? What does that normally look like for that journey?
The classic computer science question is depends. I don't know. Depends on complexity, right? But it really does. I would say the lift is actually much easier than people realize. A lot of it is mostly lift and shift, I would say, quite often, with a little bit of tweaking of models or whatever. The nice thing is about Bedrock is you do have a lot of the very popular models in Claude, and OpenAI now has announced their open models being available. So that's sort of a nice way to sort of transition and do net comparisons. I think you run into more interesting things if you're going to more exotic models, if you're going to use a DeepSeek or a Nova, that you might not have tested those when moving net, like lift and shift wise. So that's been the most interesting. But by and large, I think those lifts are much easier. And then adding net new after that point actually becomes easier. Whereas if you're using a third-party model on a different platform, there's a lot more barriers you have to overcome, and you assume that will happen when you move to Bedrock, and that's just not the case. The barriers get removed as well.
Cool. Brian, we're still unable to hear you there.
No.
Right?
There we go.
Oh. Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes.
So can you talk a little bit about the use cases? So what kind of use cases are you seeing being migrated from other platforms to AWS?
Sure. I think the one we've done quite a few times is the document processing one. Everyone loves the document processing use case. For us, a lot of that is taking a document, multimodal, a little bit more complicated than just pure text sort of things. So there is a little bit more tweaking in those use cases where you'll have to change your prompts or whatever it is to do that. The place we've also had a lot of success is merging traditional models, grabbing that context and using the LLM to make the final determination. So an example of that is a medical document using Tesseract, extract the relevant information, maybe use a secondary model to extract charts and visual models, take that context, put it into LLM to produce your final set of reasoning. That's been very successful, and also to structure the net output. I would say the other place we do that is we have a customer reclaim, which deals with secondary handbags and watches. So what we found a lot of success in is we had traditional models using SageMaker that would basically identify different aspects of the watch, case, material, dial color, brand, any OCR or anything that was available on the watch itself. And then determining that based on our historical data set was very complicated. We initially did some tests on OpenAI and then eventually moved to Bedrock, but we found a lot of success in basically taking those individual features and then identifying the watch brand using the LLM because of its large corpus of the internet to actually tell us what is the actual model reference, which is sort of the gold standard of like knowing exactly what that product is. And then you can determine pricing and other things. So that's been a lot of success.
Wow, that is super awesome. I love the work that you guys do. I mean, it's one of our valued partners. I can just see, the way that you guys are just helping those partners take those like small little like ideas and drive them to production grade AI solutions. And that's why I'm super excited, because I love Basis. I love your company. I love what you guys are doing. I love how you move fast. You create awesome solutions. So yeah, I think we're going to talk about an awesome solution that you created that can help.
So yeah, I guess while we wait for, he was in the middle of a big drop right there, but so yeah, it sounds like you have a solution. I know we were talking a little bit before the show started, and Basis team, we're happy to hear of something, the latest and greatest, and what you're doing at your company. So. Landon, do you have any perspective on that?
Yeah, absolutely. To add also to Josh's point with kind of what do you do once you're migrated into the AWS world, and hopefully that platform is Bedrock and we can support that. But it's IDP, the intelligent document processing, but also there's the other side of the coin, and that's agentic, and that's the big push lately, especially from an internal program that was launched with AWS. It's called Rapid, and so all these individuals that have came in and found interest in our GenAI use case assessments and the model evaluations. I believe 60 to 70% of those are all agentic, and so that percentage is an interesting metric, especially from a go-to-market perspective, from a partner and AWS on why are people, flocking to agent-based Bedrock use cases? How many of those need to migrate from another platform? So there's a lot of metrics that we're able to kind of pull out of this internal program that was launched. And so, when we look at, the amount of use case assessments that we're doing and the model evaluations that we have to do, part of this program, this idea spawned. Josh originally was like, we need to make this easier. We need to be able to make our life easier, turn down the assessment from 4 to 5 weeks to 2 to 3 weeks. Again, varies by customer. But again, like that's like the goal with what we're going to soft release here. It's called BAM. BAM. And I don't know how we came up with it. We were just looking at each other and we're like, Bedrock Assessment Migration Tool. Well, we'll kill the tool and we'll just call it BAM.
I think Emily also was involved as well, right?
Yes, yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, this is something that I'm excited to kind of show the front-facing side of things. That Josh will kind of dive in on kind of what the intentions are now and plus down the road here in a very short time frame. The intention up front is we want everybody to be able to use this. We want this to be free to use for any assessment migration, the model evaluation piece, and it'll be expanded over time. But the intention for this is for everybody to win. AWS, if there's another partner out in the crowd, they're able to use this as well, even for us as well, so we can partner with that partner if that's a need. So it allows for good collaboration, but I'll stop talking and we can share it if you'd like.
Yeah, let's get a little bit about BAM. I like the name as well. Drop in the T. Definitely, it's catchy. I like it.
Yeah, I think what we were talking about doing is once it runs all the evaluation assessment stuff, we'll like put some cheesy like BAM, like on the screen, like here's your results. Yeah,
I can see the sound effects and hear them now. So
cool. Well, shall I share my screen?
Absolutely.
Cool. All right. So what we're looking at here, just real quick, this is kind of who we are. I'll leave it up for a quick moment as I talk through kind of about Basis. So some of these logos that you see on here most of them are our current customers. There's really only 3 I see that are, or even 2 that are a little within the last 12 to 24 months. So then we have plenty of others. We range from an SMB perspective to an enterprise level. As you see, an HBO is on there. We work with financial services, life sciences, you name it. We've had a hand on that industry. But where we kind of thrive in these industries is the use case of GenAI. And so looking at kind of what that means for us as an advanced partner with AWS, we've got, I would say 6 things that we're known for within AWS. We offer a lot more, but that would include GenAI migration, the assessment, and POC development. We do DevOps, infrastructure, scalability, and then, of course, the migration and modernization piece, even if there's no GenAI. I think that's an important part to always have within any company, especially if you're trying to get to AWS. And then, of course, we have to have our custom software development, our engineers. That's what they love to do. So point out before we jump into BAM, I think it's important to say that we're talking about migration. We're talking about what do you do once you're over and you're finally migrated in AWS. And so there's a very pivotal area that allows us as a partner to step in. And I think that stands out from, differentiates us from others, but it's called a GenAI strategic collaboration agreement with AWS. And so it provides funding opportunities that are unique based on workload costs for proof of concepts specifically. So that includes the agentic POCs, the IDP, the intelligent document processing POCs, and we can unlock cash or credit up to 40% actually based on those workload assessments. So that all goes hand in hand with BAM. And just to kind of show that, a little too zoomed in there. Let's see, does that look good for you, Josh, right here?
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that's great. I'll let you take it away, man.
Okay, great. So we just want to share some screenshots just to sort of give a taste without, giving everything away. But the quick and dirty is I'm a lazy programmer. We all are, right? So we want to make something that sort of embraces that. So the purpose of BAM is really to allow you to connect to your existing repositories. So we support GitHub, GitLab, and Bitbucket. Once you suck those in, you'd be able to select a specific repo. It will then process that repo and give you an analysis of languages, what are the frameworks or calls to LLMs that are currently available, the complexity of the application, as a general metric, the estimated migration complexity, the duration, how many prompts we're seeing, how many LLM calls we're seeing, and then we produce a recommendation of steps of how to accomplish that. We also define what resources, and we didn't want to put price because resources really tell what price is and supporting things. So we just tell you the resourcing and timeline associated with it. And then the final aspect, which we don't show here, we actually individually call out which files contain those specific LLM calls. So it's a lot less of a guess and check. It really sort of tells you exactly where it is, what is the open LLM or whatever is being called, and where's that located. So very quickly you can assess like, oh my God, we have 1,000 calls, but it's only in 2 files. So that's actually not too bad. So we actually look at the function calls outside of the pure LLM calls. So you can trace everything up and down your stack essentially. If you move over to the next slide, we also have recently released a model evaluation as part of this. So you're able to select any of the Bedrock models, define individual experiments and temperatures. I think one of the nice things here is you can mess around with different temperatures with the same prompts. So you can understand how that might have a net effect of the results that come out. And then based on that, we basically do an analysis of speed, cost, and then some core NLP metrics. And then if you scroll down, we also include LLMs as a judge. So we also do verification with LLMs and agentic and reasoning to basically determine like, hey, not only is the output correct, but how close is it to what it should be? What is the quality and what is the reasoning? So we also give justifications with everything that we are producing out of the result. So you can actually determine like, okay, this is good. And we also include hallucinations as some of those metrics that we actually produce back out.
Wow.
Sounds like a great solution, and looking forward to first off assessing this, right? As an assessment. Love you walking through here. And I know you mentioned this is soft launch. So now you're in the know, our viewers. Where can they find this? Is this available yet to the masses, or are you waiting to get it out there?
Yeah, we're waiting to get it out there. I would say in the next 2 weeks, we're going to launch it. We want to produce it as an ISV so people can run it individually. And then we will also have a hosted model that people can go and self-serve potentially. But if you have higher security requirements, you can self-serve and launch it yourself in your own environment as well.
Yeah. And I have to ask, will this be on our AWS marketplace?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. It'll be free to use. It won't be open sourced. I think that's a key component to mention. This is something that we want to share and use, freely with anybody. But we want to continue to iterate on it. And if you want to talk about the future vision of this too, Josh, I think that's an important piece to, the batch processing or anything like that.
Sure. I mean, obviously, Bedrock is an ever-evolving environment. So as that happens, additional guardrails, batch processing, all those things, we want to make sure those all get included here. Brian might know a little bit something about that.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see that you guys are including batch, because I see that as kind of being the future. I think, what we're doing now is small level, like little chatbot things, but I think we include batch when you're processing 1 million documents at a time. I mean, I think that's the future, and I'm glad to see you guys are going in a direction.
We listen.
Yeah. So yeah, being on Marketplace, I mean, this is going to be a huge win for you and our customers. I mean, I imagine using Marketplace, they're going to be able to just almost one click kind of employ this in an environment, right? I mean, that's
right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it's interesting too if this if this performs the way which it is now already, but as we scale this and performs the way we want it to, it drastically reduces the manpower requirements from a use case assessment and model evaluation. There is still a manual component to it, but it allows us to do workshops, travel around the country, meet individuals, learn about their business problems, and present this to them, and honestly have results within sheer seconds to minutes, depending on the situation. But I think it's one of those things where we want it to be our I don't know what the right term for this, the pinnacle of the setting up success for customer, partner, and AWS relationships. And it's at the end of the day, like, yes, there's marketing to it, but there's also a pre-sales engagement that allows an understanding. Is it even possible? Does it make sense? Nothing can be forced. So this kind of, prevents anything that's a little forced, if you know what I'm saying.
I think the idea is stop spending your budget on evaluations, like get straight to the POC, drive real value immediately, and then show to your end users like, hey, we can build something that's actually useful and can go to production tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Setting up customers for success. I love that line, Landon. That warms my heart. Customer obsession over here at AWS. I'd love to see it from Basis as well. Well, with our few remaining minutes, definitely wanted to open it up. Obviously, we talked a lot about migrations and some of the things that Basis has. Love the BAM and the assessment tool that you showed in soft launch today. So stay tuned for the full launch here shortly on Marketplace. Is there any closing remarks or anything else that you want our audience to know about Basis and what else you got under the in-works here?
I could go, Josh. Do you want to?
Oh, no.
Okay. Well, I think from a closing remark with us as a partner with AWS. Listen, we started our partnership officially about 2 years ago, and so let's just say the velocity of things, how we've transitioned into an environment that allows us to excel as a partner has well exceeded our expectations. And so where we want to see things move now from a GenAI perspective is we want to be able to relate to customers in person. And so our goal is to build out down the road. This is down the road. I kind of mentioned it, a GenAI workshop and events that are focused around GenAI in order for you to get to know us and AWS. And so that allows us to connect on a more personal level, get comfortable with who you're working with. And also, they're not just boring events. They're not going to be sit around and eat some food and go home. They're yacht events. They're go drift a car in a hypercar, supercar in Las Vegas. They're go golf with us. Actually, at the LA Summit, we have a big golf event we're planning. But again, they're all focused around GenAI, and we want it to be an opportunity for people to feel comfortable with not just us as a partner, but AWS, and get to know their account managers, solutions architects, ask the right questions, and build relationships along the way. It's not a short-term engagement by any means. That's not how engineering has ever built out. You have to over time iterate and change your game plan. So I think that's our future goal. That's what we want to do, and from a business development partnership perspective, that's what I'm excited about, is bringing all this to market, but also meeting those individuals too. So.
All right. Well, thank you guys for being here. I'm super excited to see what you guys do in the future. Do you guys want to drop your social medias here for people to contact you and be able to reach out to you or Basis, LinkedIn, whatever you got?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that golf event.
Heck yeah. So, I don't know, depending on those that use it. So conferenceparties.com is typically where everybody signs up through. But for that LA Summit, but the link is live. I can post that in the chat too. I'll say that we have limited spots, and it's one of those things where I would love to meet you over a call if you're interested. And of course, Brian, and Dalian, you're more than welcome to attend. If you're around, let's do it. You guys are in 100%. Get to meet Brian and Dalian in person. That's what we should change the header to. Yeah.
Well, Landon, Joshua, thank you so much for meeting with us today, talking about what Basis. I'd love to hear about what you're working on. Look forward to getting hands-on experience and seeing how our customers leverage BAM in the future, and looking forward to see what Basis has to come. So thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Stay tuned, folks.
Thanks.
Welcome to this exciting episode of GenAI Live. My name is Brian Terry, and I'm a senior partner solution architect focusing on AI migrations. And I'm here joined with my co-host, Dalian. Dalian, how about you introduce yourself?
Yeah, hey folks, my name is Dalian Ayekpour. I'm a senior technical account manager here at AWS. And if you're new to the show, welcome. You can join us every Wednesday at 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific time. So if you're just joining us, you might want to rewind because we just had a great segment with with one of our partners. But don't worry, we still have great content to come with one of our additional partner here. But yeah, Brian, what did you think of our first segment?
Oh man, it was completely awesome. I love Basis. I love what they're doing. They're innovating fast at a fast clip in GenAI space, and they use a lot of Bedrock. So if you haven't tried Bedrock, definitely try it out. It's definitely what I call industrial grade AI use cases for that platform. So
100%. The option, and as they mentioned, and as we often mention, is the choices to choose the model that meets your needs is a game changer. Being able to quickly swap, see the new ones that come out, it's definitely amazing, and seeing how easy it is to change those and find something that fits what you're looking to build. So.
Oh, absolutely. And it kind of fits into the rest of AWS ecosystem. When you think about what if you had to process 1 million documents? Well, you can kind of tie that in with Bedrock and then use S3 and create a simple workflow in a few hours. So having that complete tool chain in one platform, I think is super awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As you know, we definitely have a long list of great partners that we work with here at AWS. So with that being said, let's meet another one of our great partners that we are doing amazing things on our platform.
Welcome to GenAI Live. We're super excited to have you here. How about you introduce yourself?
Yeah, thanks for having me. And it's been my second time on Twitch. It's been years when I was part of AWS actually.
Oh, wow.
This team SageMaker, and that's when I was at Twitch. But let me just quickly introduce. My name is Nitin Wa. I'm a CEO and co-founder of Karini AI. We are a GenAI foundation platform on AWS. We are an ex-AWS team founded by AWS, specialists, actually, machine learning specialists, probably one of you. And then we are here to make GenAI production grade at enterprises. So that's our mission, and we provide a platform that is deployed in customers' VPC, makes it easy to go from zero to hero in no time. And I'm going to talk about a couple of use cases.
Awesome. Well, it's sad to see you leave AWS, but glad to see what you've been able to do with that and building out Karini AI. So, as an ex-Amazonian, love to see you here back on the show and seeing some of the awesomeness. And now you're a partner. So, welcome full circle here. So,
yeah. It's super exciting. I love the innovation. I love the innovation of you being from AWS and then driving this platform for partners. I think it's super exciting. I just can't wait to kind of dive deep into it.
Definitely.
Yeah. Before we get into some of the what you wanted to demonstrate today, can you give the audience a little bit more of an idea, if they're unfamiliar with Karini AI, what is the million idea. What's going on here? $1 billion idea, I'm sure. So where are customers usually coming to you at, and how do you usually solve those problems?
Yeah, as I said, we are a GenAI foundation. What it means is there are like 3 or 4 core challenges, right? We are seeing in enterprises. One is a lot of POCs don't go to production, right? I think AWS number is 79%. The POCs that are made to production, with like a lot of DIY tooling, these developer toolings, 60% of them will be replatformed because of they have scaling challenges. And thanks to Agent Core, that'll be easier now for a lot of developers. And third is security and governance is a challenge because there are a lot of SaaS vendors. So we have taken a very different approach. And fourth is barrier to entry is very low compared to machine learning where I come from. You needed like a data science degree, and their challenge was like, how do you make MLOps easy? The challenges are different. But building a production grade AI, generative AI, is still a challenge, right? You still need expertise. So how do you lower that barrier? So these are the 4 challenges we address with our platform on AWS, which is completely secure because it's deployed in your VPC. We reduce time to market. Our core users and successful customers are not just IT users, but they are also business experts, right? So that is a differentiator because business experts understand data. They are good at prompt engineering, right? And so we work with line of business, empower them. Then we sort of make the system is private. It's within your VPC. It's a privacy governance, and it's built on top of AWS infrastructure like Amazon EKS. So it makes it very scalable and secure. And we have multiple customers who have taken advantage of it. We are also GenAI competency partner. One of the first 10 ISVs to get GenAI competency along with Anthropic. We were also featured at Keynote at New York Summit, being part of the agent core as well as the agentic marketplace. So yeah, I can go on and on.
It sounds like you're staying busy over there at Karini AI. I love to hear it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So, I mean, Agent Core. You mentioned that a couple times. Can you talk a little bit about how that technology helped you kind of drive your solution to the market quickly?
Yeah. So we actually, being an accessibility team, we believe in like the whole undifferentiated heavy lifting, right? And that's what Agent Core is. So I wish this was launched when Bedrock was launched, which would have been awesome. That would have taken away some of the heavy lifting that we had to do as a platform owner. So Agent Core has those 7 capabilities, right? So the one, of course, we'll be very strategic. Agent Core is strategic for our platform because it's gonna alleviate a lot of the undifferentiated heavy lifting that we have to do, right? For example, we are currently deployed on Amazon EKS. We have to handle our own scalability with pods, and there's a lot of engineering investment we have made. So with Agent Core, now first thing we have done is like already integrated with browser use, which is a use case one of our customer wanted for like automation. Then we are keenly working on observability, agent observability. That's because that observability is based on CloudWatch versus what Karini has. We have to deploy a data warehouse. It's a lot of maintenance. I just want to get out of it. CloudWatch, awesome, super cheap, super scalable, and it gives a lot of other dashboarding capabilities that we have to build. And then finally, the third thing that really excited me is the runtime, Agent Core runtime, because it provides you a long running runtime. It's serverless, and it can scale to thousands of users. And we have customers who wants to scale to thousands of users concurrently, which you can imagine the kind of number of pods and infrastructure that I have to build through EKS, along through EKS. So I think all those undifferentiated capabilities in Agent Core are amazing. We are already integrated with Bedrock. Bedrock we use for LLM inference. We use for Bedrock knowledge bases, as well as we use for guardrails, right? Which is another amazing feature.
Oh man, super exciting stuff. I can't wait to see this solution.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of set it up. I think you got the people on the edge of their seat. Do you have something to show here with in terms of? Yeah, I'd love to hear your comments. Sounds like you're changing the game in agentic AI. Did you have a demo or something that you'd like to show the audience to
Yeah,
make
I
it
would
even more real?
happy to do like a sneak peek of the demo. And if someone wants to try it out, we're like an open book. We believe in like open philosophy. So just hit us up and then we can sign you up in our SaaS. Again, can you see my screen?
Absolutely.
Yes. And before you get into it, where can where can our viewers go to sign up for that? What you just mentioned.
Yeah, so they just have to go to Karini AI and contact us, and it sends us a link, and then we will sign them up in our SaaS platform. So we have a SaaS which is really good for demos and POCs, but for production we deploy the same instance, whatever you're seeing here, in customers VPC, right?
Wow.
Yeah, so the SaaS is like a really awesome like playground where you can quickly test. We have a bunch of demos, and then we have a lot of if you want to do a quick POC without having to worry about deployment, that SaaS is awesome, and we're happy to enroll them. Okay.
Yeah, and one thing before you get into you keep mentioning it, and I think that is something to mention, right? Is being able to deploy right in their VPC. So security, it sounds like you're working, keeping that priority one, and especially when you're looking at generative AI and especially attaching it to potentially company data. That's something that you want to ensure that you have unlocked. So love to see what you're doing there.
Yeah, I mean, your AI is only as good as your data, right? Most of the time, what we have seen is a lot of our customers are spending a lot of data on data engineering before they can get to AI. It's a different data engineering than traditional engineering, because you are either creating knowledge bases or like knowledge graphs. But that data curation is very important. For example, currently I'm at ILTACon. It's a legal conference in Alexandria, DC. And I'm here because we have a legal customer, and they have processed or on the way to process 3 million legal documents on AWS. And that is a big challenge, right? Creating a knowledge graph out of it, but AWS makes it possible. Awesome. So a quick tour of the platform, and feel free to stop me, and I'll be time checking as well. So this is our sort of sandbox environment. As you can see, in fullness of time, every enterprise will have, anywhere between 50 to 300 applications. So this Karini also becomes your system of record for all the agents, all the knowledge bases, no matter where they are created, right? You may have created in Amazon Q, you may have created in Amazon Bedrock, or just Karini's native agents. They're all sort of like, you can monitor them. Now, and this is what we call as recipes. Okay. We also have a data warehouse, which soon will be migrated to agent core observability. And that data warehouse gives us capability to have this dashboard. So for example, we have like spend by endpoints. You can see like all the models that have been served. We are able to track them. We have ability to sort of monitor application spend. Very important as you go beyond 1Z, 2Z apps. You want to understand how my apps are tracking. So these are like conversational apps. There are two types of app. We have like traditionally IDP or a batch applications, or conversational, which are like streaming applications, right? And then there is, you don't see any data here, but let me zoom back to the previous month. You see the data, and then some leaderboards. Now the platform has many things, but I would like to take you to a really cool like agentic workflow that is actually live, working in production for the last 6 months, and it has been, of course, evolved. It's a great story. So this is like a recipe, is nothing but a sort of a agentic workflow. It can also be a knowledge graph or knowledge base workflow or ETL job. So that is what a recipe is. So I'm going to take you to a recipe, which is order to cash automation. And this is actually a live use case at a customer. This is just a mock-up that we have actually demonstrated when we work with this customer, right? So as you can see, everything is drag and drop. It's a low-code, no-code platform. Of course, as a GenAI practitioners, sometimes you have to write code. So, nothing we cannot provide everything to every customer. So that's why we have consciously provided AWS, Lambda hooks, so that you can write custom code and then sort of bring it back if needed, right? That's not the goal. And now a lot of that is pivoting to MCP. MCP has been game changing. So we have actually added an MCP registry, which I'll talk about very shortly. But you don't even have to write code, right? If you find a MCP server that's secure and works for it, does the job. Okay, so this is an order to cash workflow. Request comes through a webhook. It can be chat initiated, or it can just be API initiated. So in this use case, it's API initiated because it's like an intelligent automation, or traditionally a lot of people understand this is an intelligent document processing, right? So requests are sent. Then, the data is processed. These are like purchase order, either PDFs or images. They are sent. We provide, of course, tech stack. That is one of our service. A lot of our customers use Amazon Tech Stack, and you can also use a VLM if your use case demands it. And then between start and end, you have like these agentic workflow, right? So as you can see here, there are like all these orange colors are agents that are sort of working in tandem to process this purchase order. And there's like a lot of that validation happening on purchase order. For example, this agent is, of course, first thing is you extract that order. And as you can see, we provide integrated CI/CD, so you don't have to worry about like saving your code in GitHub. It comes with sort of integrated CI/CD, and everything is snapshot. Your prompts, versions, models, everything is snapshot. And this is very essential because once you go to production, we have seen our customers have 200, 300 versions of that particular artifact because you have to treat this as a code, right? This is your code, and that's why it has to be seamlessly integrated. Now I can quickly go from the recipe to prompts, right? And we have a prompt registry, a prompt version. They are all versioned. As you can see, there are multiple versions here. You can write your prompt. Again, our core audience is not just IT users, but they are also line of business experts. So our mantra has always been like, how do we make it easy? How do we reduce number of clicks, right? So a lot of those things matter to us. So it's a good experience for business users, and we always take their feedback. So you can then test and compare against multiple models. So let me go against side by side. It gives you as you can see, things are being streamed, but Nova is awesome, right? Nova was able to handle.
Hey, we love Nova.
I love Nova.
It's like 70% cheaper than. So we are also working with Nova team on fine tuning Nova on multiple of such use cases. But as you can see, Sonnet 3.7 versus Nova is able to get the answer. Again, depending on your task, you should choose wisely, but we give them side-by-side comparison. We also have like a prompt optimization that is built in, which is, I'm just going to jump to a different environment here. So I'll show you like prompt optimization. So rather than like doing these experiments manually, prompt optimization is like hyperparameter tuning, but only using GenAI techniques, right? So in this prompt optimization, you give a seed prompt, give all the target models, and you can span across all types of models. Of course, Bedrock models on Azure OpenAI, or any other system. And this is a great tool if you think about migration, right? If you want to prove like, hey, the model like Nova, how Nova works against OpenAI, this is a great tool because you can literally automate the entire process of selecting the model that reduces the cost and then improves the performance, right? In this experiment, as you can see here, I have like multiple models, and let me go to each trial. So you see, it's Nova is being compared against GPT-4o. There's a DeepSeek, and then Nova and Nova Mini, and then in this particular task, Nova Premier has been the best model. Okay, and it also gives you a refined prompt. Now going back to the use case, now I have tested and compared. I can select the model, version control it, right? Publish the prompt, and once prompt is published, you can just like drag the tile, select the prompt from a drop down, and boom, right? And then you connect this workflow, and then next step is I'm just executing these agents on this particular order that has been extracted. Do match master validation. This is purchase order, right? So all type of validation, payment terms validation. So all these individual agents can be tested. Then you sort of version control them, and then you bring it back to workflow, and then just stitch them together. So it's very easy to go from idea to production, first idea to MVP, get the business approval, and then migrate from POC to production. Right. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I love the platform that you have here, and especially the solution going to low code, no code to make it easier for, as you mentioned, business users. How does that look like as we look to open it up and get more people involved in this space? How does the integration look? Right? Is that also a seamless, simple process when looking to launch it potentially in your own VPC or the SaaS solution? How does it integrate with your environment?
Yeah, integrate the deployment of this is a Terraform module, right? Entire Karini platform is a Terraform module.
Oh, cool.
That we just deploy. It literally takes 30 minutes. The most time it takes is creating an OpenSearch cluster, and then creating the EKS, right? Amazon, the Kubernetes cluster. Barring that, the deployment is super easy. We have like a startup guide. A lot of our customers, if they have skills with Terraform, they do it themselves, or one of our AI engineers gets on a call, and it's beautiful, right? AWS integration with Terraform with Kubernetes is really amazing with the Amazon EKS. So once it's deployed, all you have to do is connect. As you can see here, you just connect to your AWS account. I'm just gonna sort of go to that particular screen since you asked the question. And then since we are GenAI competency partner, security is very important, right? So then you connect to your account, one or more accounts, and then so we have a control plane data plane approach. So you can deploy Karini in your shared services account, and then use cross account role to access Bedrock, TechStrack, whatever resources you need in your line of business tenant account. Okay, so the platform is already multi-tenant, so it can be within an enterprise. It can be used across multiple line of business, and each line of business can have their own workspace.
Okay. Looks easy to implement. I love it. Like you said, 30 minutes, Terraform, launch it, and you're there. Love to see the integration, especially being easy and seamless to get that going. So thanks.
Yeah. I like how this platform is easy to use, but it's highly customizable. As I saw you kind of click through each one of these steps, you were able to customize them specifically to a lot of different things. Can you drill down into that just a little bit more?
Yeah. So there's a lot of customizability. Every functionality that we have, there's a customizability. For example, we have this custom function node where you can literally sort of write a Lambda function within your own sort of VPC, register that Lambda, provide the input schema, right? So GenAI these workflow understand the input schema, so it can create the input for the Lambda. So that's one. Then you go to any agent that we have, right? So let me just go to agent from here. That's the beauty. And then as you can see here, this is an agentic prompt. Task is agent type, and then it has multiple tools. So within these tools, we have we support n number of tools. But if you do not have a ecosystem of tools, you can always write your Lambda function. So that's another customizability. And then for core IT users, we also provide built-in observability, which is very important in GenAI. So for example, let me take you to the screen. So this is all the historical transactions in that order to cash workflow. And as you can see, each and every model call, each and every step is sort of tracked. Inputs and outputs are tracked. And this is what we'll probably migrate to Agent Core CloudWatch, the Agent Core observability. But this is very important because this particular use case, while I'm showing only 20 steps, in the production workflow, they have 100 to 200 steps, right? And GenAI, our goal is how do you make generative AI deterministic? So a lot of this data helps us or help our customer improve their workflows.
Wow, super cool.
There's a lot to unpack, but I'll keep it brief.
Yeah, I just got to give a little taster of the platform. If they want the full scope, they're definitely gonna have to go test it out for themselves. So I encourage you to get on Karini.ai and test this solution out and see how it could benefit yourself or your organization. So thank you, Nitin. Appreciate the walkthrough. I guess with the last remaining minutes here, Nitin, is there anything in particular that you want to relay to our audience in terms of what's to come with Karini AI, what trends, anything that we didn't cover today that you'd like to mention?
Yeah, I mean, see, GenAI, we have multiple successful deployment, my parting word would be, start with a use case that is achievable but has highest ROI, right, for your enterprise. Just like Amazon's approach, believing experimenting and fail fast, right? Not every idea will go to production, which is okay, but at least you try. And if you try with a platform, it's very easy to then do a POC. Like with Karini, you can do it within 30 minutes. You're in or out. You can experiment with your idea. If the idea is awesome, get business approval and go to production. That's important. Again, include business experts into the GenAI projects, because while core IT likes to build things with LangChain and other packages, the core of successful GenAI projects is how do you get the business experts to be on the platform, do prompt engineering, because they understand data and nuances. They have like empathy and sort of patience to test out different use cases. That's very important. And just keep building. That's very important. And then imagine, always keep this in mind, that these projects, do not think about like 3 months, 3 weeks, right? A lot of these projects are going to become your enterprise application, and they have to outlive your probably age. So think in terms of years, right? So it's important to, rather than analysis paralysis, go with the platform. You can use one of the native platforms to use, like Karini AI, and this is gonna become your system of record for entire enterprise. So with that, yeah, sorry.
No, please finish.
Yeah, with that, I don't know if I'm still sharing, but we are on AWS Marketplace. Karini AI is on AWS Marketplace. We are, of course, we have a GenAI, strategic collaboration agreement with AWS. We don't talk about it, but we are ISV. And then you can check us out. We were part of the Agent Marketplace launch recently. And we have a quick start program, because what we have realized is it's very important to handle customers, at least for the first use case. We are ISV, we are not a SI like your other partner. So what we provide with quick start is one use case where we help customer take that use case to production with our core AI engineers who have built the platform, right? You're not a SI. And then if you need it with this quick start, we can also like help fund it partially through some of the funding mechanisms that we have with AWS, thanks to the strategic collaboration agreement and our partnership with AWS.
All right. Well said.
Yeah.
Sounds like you still got some of that Amazonian in you. Reminded me. I love it. So excellent. Well, and thank you so much for meeting with us today to go over Karini and what you all are working on. Love to see what you're doing in the space, and love to see that you're keeping customers secure and thinking about scalability. So thank you for debuting your solution here. So thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. Thanks, Brian.
Sure.
All right. So if you want to drop your socials, where can people contact you if they want to learn more about Karini AI?
Yeah, they can just go to sales@karini.ai. That's the best place to start. Or we have reach out to your AWS customer, reach out to your AWS account managers, or we have a partner PDMs, partner development managers. So yeah, best way is sales@karini.ai.
Awesome.
Or ping me on LinkedIn directly. We are small, we're customer obsessed. We'll definitely get back to you.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you folks for joining into this week's episode of GenAI Live. Thank you for our partners for coming out and showing what they're working on. Love to see what they're working on in the space. And thank you viewers for tuning in. We'll see you next time on GenAI Live. Have a great day, folks.